And we rowed away from the ship as fast as we could, because one has to do that, because I believe the suction when a vessel goes down is absolutely enormous. And we rowed away, and I didn't close my eyes at all. I saw that ship sink. And I saw that ship break in half. And for so many years, people have argued with me about that. But now at last, it has been proven beyond all doubt that she did break in half. I know she did, I saw her.
My name is Fountain Hewes. I was born in Charlottesville, Virginia. My grandfather belonged to Thomas Jefferson. My grandfather was 115 years old when he died. And now I am 101 years old. Well, after freedom, you know, colored people didn't have nothing. Colored people didn't have no beds when they were slaves. You know, slept on the floor. Pallet here and pallet there. Just like a lot of wild people. We didn't know nothing. Didn't like to look at no book.
As I stopped, I saw a hand come through the crowd in the first row, and that was the only active gesture that I saw, but in the hand was a weapon.
And I went out to the balcony and I see the column of tanks coming towards me, and I'm thinking, well, this is a nice compressed shot of the tanks. And all of a sudden this guy with shopping bags walks out in front, and I'm looking at it and I get annoyed, and I look at Kirk and I said, this guy's going to screw up my composition. And he goes, they're going to kill that guy, they're going to kill him. And I looked and I said, this guy's crazy.
It was very, very early in the morning at daybreak. And we heard this tremendous rumble, which got louder and louder and louder. So my father and I, we dressed immediately and we ran out to the deck. And there were people of all denominations, some on their knees making the sign of the cross, Jews in their prayer shawls. As we were passing the Statue of Liberty, it was the first time I saw it. It was a great sight.
One young man, looking rather ferocious at that time, started to kick the door down. This person said to me in a loud voice in Farsi, "You are under arrest. You're a member of the nest of spies. You're going to come with me."
The tear gas first started down the Commons, then the guard moved up on both sides of Taylor Hall and forced the kids off the Commons. Then one group, I don't know how many there were, 50 maybe, perhaps more, perhaps less, moved down into the practice football field. And then there were a whole lot of kids around them. A few kids were throwing sticks and stones, but that was only a handful, not more than 10, 15. And then the guard shot some tear gas up on the hill to disperse the crowd, and the kids picked it up and threw it back. And all of a sudden I heard the shooting, and then I saw people dropping to the ground, and then I fell to the ground also, because I couldn't walk anymore.
And lo and behold, that's when it blew up. Now, I don't know if any of you have any experience with the way helium burns and when it's mixed with oxygen. But when it first takes off, it's just a yellow flame before you add the oxygen, when it becomes really an intense flame. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, we didn't have time to do much reacting at all. All at once, this fellow sitting in the front seat with me said, "My God, let's get out of here."
Later in the day, our own troops paraded down the avenue, and this was something that made us all proud. And here's de Gaulle parading, and suddenly firing opened up from forces that were left behind, and they thought from the FFE and some of the fascists that were still in the city, trying to panic the people.
I remember just reaching the apex of the trajectory when I was going to be in the middle of the weightlessness, and I was looking at the periscope, and And all of a sudden I said, somebody's going to ask me how it feels to be weightless, so you better pay attention to how it feels to be weightless. So I was going through the motions of flying, but at the same time trying to assess physiologically how I felt, and was I dizzy or confused and so on. And then I thought, well, somebody's going to ask me how the Earth looks, and so I looked down through the periscope, which is all we had at that point.
Every time we opened up those gates, there were 5, 6, maybe up to 10 people that would get through that weren't supposed to be part of the evacuation. But once they got in, you couldn't leave the gate and try to get them and push them back out.
It really raised the dickens where we were living, south of Market, and everything south of Market was destroyed with the earthquake, and the fire did more damage than the earthquake. And I don't remember my house or anything, but it was all destroyed. I remember my mother carrying me down on her left arm, and she held onto a banister with the right hand. And we slept in a park for a couple of nights, and I don't remember how we ate or anything like that.
I took a seat that was just back of where the white people were sitting. And in fact, the last seat, and the man was next to the window, and I took an aisle seat, and there were 2 women across. And we went on undisturbed until about the second or third stop, when some white people boarded the bus and left one man standing. And when the driver noticed him standing, he told us to stand up and let him have those seats. He referred to them as front seats. He wanted to know if I was going to stand. I told him I was not, and he told me he would have me arrested.
And I said, I don't know about any petition, but they tell me you got one up. And I don't know about any petition, but I'll tell you what you can do with it. Because I don't look at the color. I don't care whether he's green, black, yellow, white. He has talent. And he will put money in your pocket and my pocket. This is some kind of player.
It develops now, after all these years, that Joseph Goebbels contacted Avery Brundage, the president of the American Olympic Committee then, and suggested that Adolf Hitler would be displeased if Jews ran in his Olympic Games. And so the 2 Jews were dropped. No question we would have won. No question we were there. No question we had qualified for this. But the American Olympic leaders, led by Avery Brundage, complied with the request forwarded from Hitler through Goebbels to Avery Brundage to take the Jews off the team. So the only 2 Jews on the track team didn't get to compete. And in the history of American track and field in Olympic competition, no fit American athlete in track and field has ever not competed in the Olympic teams when he was a member of the team, except for the 2 of us. It still bothers me. I'm still mad.